Stop me if you've heard this before. UConn leads by 10, dwindled down to 1. Then we got the win in the long run. Let's talk about it. This is who we are, guys. UConn, baby. John the Hoop Scout.
Let's get it. 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 Yeah. UConn, baby. Home of the champions. Let's go.
What's up, everybody? Sorry for the later start today. My wife works on Tuesday nights. How dare they schedule UConn on a night that my wife works? But look, UConn wins this game. It's sometimes it's a good feeling to be right, but a lot of times you want to be proven wrong. And God damn it, I'd love to be proven wrong by this team. I know that there's a lot of good things about the squad. I love the way Silas stepped up, hit a couple big threes. Malachi Smith coming out of nowhere with like 12 points tonight, 5 assists. Terrace had good numbers. I thought he was iffy, right? Made a lot of stupid plays early that led to Providence kind of sticking around. And then, you have Solo gutting it out. His wrist is definitely not 100%. He got it banged up early, or like it was like in the middle of the second half, and kind of really toughed it out. Another gritty performance by Alex Caravan. I think Alex does just enough sometimes to continue to be special. He's the most decorated player in UConn history, but he definitely doesn't always play to his capabilities. It just is what it is. But that's what this team is right now. At some point, you don't shake who you are. They are 20-1. They've played 21 games. They've played 21 games almost identical. The only games that they haven't played like this are the UMass Lowell game, where they showed what everyone thinks this team can be. And and also they played kind of a different game against Illinois. I think they probably played little tougher. I'm gonna get into the chat here. It's alarming that Solo's wrist is still bothering him this much. Why? I'm curious. Like, what's the reasoning why you would think that that's he has an injury and he's playing through it. Should be applauding him, not worried about why it's bothering him. Like, I'm sure they're giving him treatment, but it's like anything else. Maybe if you have a sprained ankle and they give you treatment, things get better. Cool, you said it. You're not explaining yourself. Cool. Yes. Good God. Eric Rye, honestly, man, I guess I'm old school, more old school than Dan Hurley, because I would have played Eric the entire second half. The way Terrace played in the first half just frustrated the shit out of me. It just did. Hey, man, there's a reason why I started this podcast network in this company. It's one of those things where, you just don't get games. You really don't get games like this in the ACC. You don't get games like this in the Big 12. It just matters more. It is what it is. He is. And I also think, Demary starting to look really good, spelled Demary. I think I need to start writing that in my notes so I can actually say it the right way, right? Silas Demery. I think that's why I just use his first name. I think Silas is as good, or could be as good as a Tristan Newton, but because he's playing that same position of kind of the head of the snake, he just doesn't do it enough. Like, I want him, when this team has clunky offense, which it does, to step up. And for all those that hate me when I yawn, I don't care. It's 10:36 and I'm tired, and I've been working since 8:00 in the morning. I'm gonna yawn. Providence absolutely has some really good players, but they play no defense. This UConn team should score 100 points on them. This team is not a good offensive team. Can we just call it what it is? They run good offense, but they don't make a lot of open shots, as some of the championship teams would have. It's a hybrid from last year's team and the 22-23 team, where there's no real kind of like leader, and there's Alex is a leader, but you know what I mean, like a guy who like leads the way scoring. It's always someone different, and then there's times where they go on droughts. And that 2022-23 team lost like 6 out of 7 games in January. And so, yeah, I think that this team is a hybrid of last year's team and the 22-23 team. They're better. They're better than last year's team, obviously. And they're not but they're not as complete or even close to the 22-23 or 23-24. And they still go win the national championship. That's what's so good about those teams. I'm not comparing him. They play the same position. I said, and also, can we spell his name right? Like, if you're gonna post something in the chat, just use his first name. I know who you're talking about. I'm not comparing Tristan and Silas. Dan does that all the time, and I criticize him for it. I don't love when he makes those references, because then people automatically assume I said Tristan Newton type, not comparing them. They're not even close. David, I agree with this. Illinois was a good game all around. There was like one lull, but for the most part, pretty much a full circle game. This is what I missed. Whew. Yeah, I'm gonna yawn again. I don't give a shit. Opinions on Ross. This was the worst game that the two of them played collectively in a very long time. So my opinion on them is, I think J. Ross needs more minutes. I think he gets really lost in the sauce. I think J. Stu is super inconsistent. I love them. They're such good people, and they're such good basketball players. But in this system, they're asked to do very similar things. And for the most part, we're trying to get the aggregate of the two of them. And when they both play bad, it's just it's a drain, because that's half your bench. If we're only playing 8 guys and your 6 and 7 man are both playing poorly, I mean, it's J. Stu started tonight because of Braylon's injury. We're winning games no matter what. Like, Braylon is absolutely a big part of this offense, and he lost. He got the concussion. I do love that Malachi got a hot hand today, because I think it mitigated a lot of what this UConn team has missed, which is like unsung heroes. Like they when you play with fire, you typically get burned, but how you don't get burned is when you have unsung heroes like a Malachi giving you 12 points that you normally don't get, or J. Stu giving you some points. Eric Ribo was great today. So I think in theory, what we've talked about is that there's depth on this team, and that is kind of that showed today. At times I didn't love the defense. Everyone talks about how great this defense is. I know Providence scores on everybody, but like, I don't know, man. Like, do you think if Providence goes to Houston and they put up, let's see what their numbers were. I don't want to assume, but a lot of easy buckets. Let's just put it that way. Maybe the point differential will probably be helpful, but 81 points. Jesus. It's brutal, man. I know this Providence team's offense is actually efficiency-wise is better than UConn's, according to Ken Palm. But, I mean, look at UConn's efficiency today on offense. 45% from the floor, 46% from 3. They made 11 threes, 4 more than their average. Free throws, Jesus. Guys, just make free throws. I know you practice them, because you know what makes me more upset? That the most upset about missed free throws is that I'm going to come and do this show or any show, and people will put in their chat, do these guys practice their free throws? Oh, Ray, I'm so sorry. With that profile picture, you shouldn't be talking about anybody. Let's just put it that way. Okay, Ray? Have a great night. God bless. A lot of fast break buckets. Yeah. Uh, I do think, you know what's funny is I actually was like, I wonder if Coach Hurley's looking at Vox and going, hey, we're gonna have some open slots next year. You wanna come down the way? 60 miles was that west to stores? And so yeah, I would love to see Vox transfer. I think listen, it's all gonna be up in the air. Look, when Kim gets fired, because he's inevitably going to, all of that is going to blow up, and you're gonna that's there's going to be a mass exodus. Um, most of those guys are 1,000% going to be on another team. Like 10 of the 11 players. Yeah, man. I mean, I called the. I know he doesn't play, but Dwayne Coroma got recruited when he put up 15 against UConn against Lemoyne. Yeah, look, free throws are a problem. And if you don't think they practice them enough, then go give Dan a call and tell him what you feel. It's just like it is what it is, guys. It's like when a football player drops a pass. You don't think they're like on the jugs machine catching the ball? Like shit happens. Like they practice. Sometimes you don't have clutch players. Right now, when it comes to the free throw line, we don't have clutch players. If Braylon's in the game, I know one time I said that he missed one of two. But God, I mean, at least he makes one. Like Silas missed two technical free throws or whatever the flagrant call. One thing about Terrace is that after the game where he shot 5 of 13, the very next game he made all 7 straight free throws. So at least this team feels accountable, like they do fix things. And so we'll see. I think they end up being a better free throw shooting team down the stretch. Let's just hope, because one of my buddies now and former UConn great Ryan Boatwright, we were talking about this the other day, and you know that run that they made with Kemba, and then with him and Shabazz, in particular with him and Shabazz. If you guys remember that run in the Final Four and to win when they had to win a lot of close games, kind of similar to this team. What put them over the top was obviously the great guard play and the clutch performances. But when it got late and a team's down by 5-6 points and they start to foul you, no team came back because UConn didn't miss free throws. Whether it was Boat, whether it was Shabazz, whether it was Niels Giffey, Roscoe Smith, even Alex Oriaki was making his free throws. I think they were like 80-something% at the line in the NCAA tournament. They had the best free throw percentage in the country. So that team's like really sealed the deal a lot of times to win that national championship. So Mark, the reason we're concerned is because this is only a regular season free throws, more pressure. Yeah, I agree. But, you know, someone hit me up after a show and I saw it in the comments. It's like, because I was like, I think it's stupid to say that they don't practice their free throws. And like, how do you get better at clutch free throws? You either have it in you or you don't. And I really don't think that not you, William, anybody that's like questioning that. If you're in a high pressure situation, could be anything, could be sports, could be life. How you react is based off of how you prepare. And I think if you prepare in a serious environment like UConn is, and they don't seem to be allocating the practice to the play, because Dan, very, very rarely do you hear someone say, there's a coach say we had a really shitty practice. You know what I mean? Like, how many times have you ever heard someone say, like, when someone, tears an ACL or ruptures an Achilles, he had successful ACL surgery. Have you ever heard someone say they had unsuccessful ACL surgery? Has a career ending injury. Like you never hear that. What you hear is the fluff of what we're talking about, right? And this is a great comment from Jason here. There's only so much practice will do in face of game pressure. And look, you got to be able to knock down shots when you're open. It's the same as if I'm in my driveway. It goes back to that stupid Hoosiers scene where Gene Hackman, God rest his soul, goes and says, "Hey, go check the height of the hoop, just 10 feet. What about the distance to the free throw line? Still 15." So like all of that is correlative to this. If you're practicing at Worth or you're practicing inside of Gamble and you're making 100 out of 102 free throws in a session, and then you go shoot 5 of 13 from the free throw line in the game, something wrong up here. There's nothing wrong here. Okay. Yeah. And William, you're right. And I don't know if it's his personality. I don't know if but it's here. It's all here. He doesn't have bad shooting form. If you went to a practice and watched Terrace Reed shoot free throws, you'd be like, wow, he makes all of them. Like I would bet $1 million right now that's the case. Ryba, absolutely. Love Eric. I think he's going to be a phenomenal player. I want to see him get more minutes. And I think this is going to end up being why he does. That's a great comment, Moody. I love you, man. That's a great or whatever. I gotta forget, the best players in the world know they're gonna fail. So no one's 100% unless you're AZ Fudd. She might become the first ever basketball player in men's or women's game that is a big 50, 40, 100. 21, we have flaws, but Jesus Christ, can we find a way that's got to count for something? Yeah, I mean, like 1,000% it does. You know what it counts for? Another win in the category. Like, listen, if we win every game like this throughout the regular season in the Big East tournament, we can get a 1 seed easily in the East, and you're going to have that pathway. That's real easy on the travel and all that, and everybody that's close to Connecticut and loves his team can go check it out. But my fear of this is there's a lot of ball left, and there's a lot of regular season left. There's a lot of road travel left. St. John's is still available for 2 more games. I know we talk about, Stores South and all that stuff, and that's true. But St. John's is still good. They're not great. They're not what everyone thought they were. Yeah, great call. Good shit. Like, I was waiting for my wife to get home, and I was actually folding clothes, and I looked up and I went, is that a real score? But I'm going to give – I have to give Marquette a ton of credit. Like, for real? I mean, that was a phenomenal – I don't even know what the score is now, but they were like 30 at the half. Hey, before I jump, because I only want to stay on till 11. So if you guys want to come on the show at all, I'm going to put the link in the chat. Yes, Nigel James is cooking. Let's see. Feel free to jump on the show. Tyrone, you better jump on. I want to hear what you guys think. Hey, Tyrone, why don't you jump on the show and come chat with me, bro? Yeah, because that Providence team is soft as hell, man. But the problem is that they don't do enough to sustain leads. And yes, I do think we're going to lose one to St. John's. I think it's just no one's ever gone 20-0 in the Big East. And I don't think UConn is going to. Not with this team. Did you imagine the team that won the second of the back-to-back national championships that was so dominant, lost to Creighton and Seton Hall, and this team is going to come. This team was going to go 20-0, and the Big East is in pretty much the same spot it was at that time. I don't want to hear about like how down it is. Like you can lie to yourself, but the Big East, like Creighton, we've been talking about how we want the bottom of the league to be better, and guess what? The bottom of the league is better. It's just the top of the league that sucks outside of UConn. St. John's is a tier below. Creighton's a tier below. Seton Hall has jumped up. Butler is in the middle. So, William, listen, let me tell you something. We are who we are. Stop with this high ceiling shit. I'm not disrespecting your opinion. That's your opinion. I don't agree with it. This team is who they are. there's no like look out. They're 21 games in. They're not 10-1. They're 20-1. Joey Bellbombs, what's up, brother? Jump on the show. Where are you at? There you are.
What's up, big dog?
How we doing?
Doing better now. I hear
You're in
your
the dark,
voice,
bro. Where you in the dark somewhere?
I'm driving still,
There
man.
we go.
Here we go, baby. I'm still trying to make it out. Not much, man. It's a win's a win. That's the UConn. That's the team, man. That's how it's going.
That's who this team is.
We are. They are who we thought they are, and they are who we are.
Yep. Did you follow me and Bad Choice Burner and go Providence plus 15.5 today?
I would have if we can do it in Connecticut, but no, I did not. Oh, trust me, I've told this about UConn. I will only take under. For me to feel comfortable betting any money line is 6 and under for me.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. But even that Florida game was, I think it was 5.5 and they won by 4. So like,
Oh, I took 3.5, baby, and I swept up.
There you go.
Was I sweating? Oh, your boy was. But a win's a win.
No. I agree, and like, I joke around. Like, I tell people all the time, like, if I get upset about something, they're like, "Oh, sorry, you lost your bet." It's like, you don't know me if you think I'm betting these high spreads with UConn, and you don't know me at all, bro. Like, sorry. But I will bet the other way. And then what I actually love, because I know that this team's MO is if they're like a 12-point spread, like last time when they played Providence and they got down 11, then you bet money line on UConn to win and you clean up because they come back and win the game like they did.
I mean, the thing about this team is like we're not even fully healthy. We're winning games. We're getting stronger. The biggest thing it's the march to March, baby.
I just want them to be healthy. I just want them to be healthy when it comes to the NCAA tournament. All of the wrist stuff with Solo, concussions with Braylon, hammies with Jay Ross and Terrace. Like, I don't. That's the point. Like, I'm not going to come on here and just be like, "All right, we won. We're the best." It's like, listen, there's just work. There's work to be done, but also there's a part of me that goes, maybe this team is just who they are. Like, I do you agree with me when I say that this team is kind of like a cross between the last year's team, which got a lot of open looks but missed everything, in particular in the NCAA tournament, and then also was unhealthy for most of the year, and then in a cross between the 22 team that won the national championship that had a lot of depth and like caught fire. So like, I think they're like in the middle of that. Wouldn't you agree?
100%. I mean, that's the thing about this team is we don't even know they're like, hey, you'll say full potential or whatnot, but they're winning games because they're more talented and better coached than everybody else.
No, I agree, but I also feel like too, there's just like you can't really underestimate like the heart of a champion, and like like guys like Alex, when they don't play well on the stat sheet, they just find ways to win. He was all over the boards tonight,
Like, even this guy, look at the impact Ross probably made on this game, and he had like 0 points.
Yeah, I mean, like I feel like he did a good job on defense, but I think that collectively, him and Jay Stu did not play well.
Did not.
But
I mean, Stu, I don't know if it was the jitters of being a starter again, but yeah, he made some plays that it's just like he's got to relax more while playing because he's thinking to make a play instead of just. And I've seen it up close multiple times. He just needs to relax and play his game and not overthink it because his head gets in the way more than his ability.
Absolutely. All right, brother. You got any other words of wisdom for us? You want to make sure people don't have jail problems, but you want to give them a shout out if they do need you?
Hey, shout out your boy Joey Bail Bonds, man. #1 bail bonds company in Connecticut. You know where to find me on Google, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Always there.
Love it. Are you stuck in traffic?
Yeah, I'm still driving. I mean, I'm still driving home. I'm like 17 minutes away from my house.
I love it.
It's okay. I got it on self-drive. It's fine.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen. Stay safe. I love you. We'll see you soon. All right.
Shout out. Hoops Cat Podcast. Best podcast ever. Let's go.
Appreciate it, dude. Husky Pound. What's up, dog?
How you doing tonight?
Good, man. You?
Couldn't be better. Just got back from the game myself.
Oh, cool.
And listen, I don't really have a take on UConn itself. I got more of a take on the Big East again. I don't know if you remember last time I was on, but I've got I'm a ticket holder. I don't miss a home game.
Okay.
I went down to Providence, saw them play there. The Big East as a whole, I can't even say it's college basketball as a whole, but this 20 plus fouls in the first half, two challenges or three challenges in the second half. I mean, I get both the challenges, so two were overturned, and that's fine, like good challenges, but there's nothing worse than watching a basketball game that's stopped every 20 to 30 seconds. And I mean, I don't think you care that much about it, but I think it's a real problem, and it gets worse and worse every year.
No, I think it's a real problem, and I've talked about it at length in other times. I mean, literally when I was at Locked On Podcast Network, I literally came on a show, and my cold open was Memphis and the refs beat UConn and Maui. So, like, I get it, man. Like, there are games that infuriate you as a fan, and for me though, dude, like, I think I tried not to talk about it every time, because if I do, then I get labeled as the whiner and the complainer that talks about, oh, why, care about, figure out your team's play and not, whether or not the refs stink, because I feel like everybody has to deal with how shitty these refs are. And I've come to that realization that, it's typically not one-sided. Do I hate James Breeding? Yes. Do I think some of these officials are an abomination? Yes. But I do think that there's less and less of that. And I do think that, like, when it comes to the officiating crew that we had tonight, I know it was clunky, but that's also because Providence is literally playing for their lives, and they're literally trying to get a win so their coach doesn't get fired. And then, even though these guys are probably all going to transfer next year, like, I don't know, like, there's a lot of factors. I feel like that's part of it. Whether you take that with a grain of salt or not, like, Roger Ayers, I'll take Roger Ayers in every game we have, because I don't want to see James Breeding. He had one bad or two bad calls in this game, and one they challenged and UConn won, and that was just a thing, like a quick little boom hitter.
He was 2 feet away from that play, by the way. I
know, dude, but, like, have you ever reffed a game? This is what I say. This is what I try to say to myself now, because I've definitely, absolutely said the same shit. Like, how could you miss that? You're right there. But a part of me is like, there's a lot of anticipation calls. The same with fouls, right? Like, a guy goes up and they're anticipating the bigger player to kind of, like, hack him, and then sometimes these guys go vertical and they go, oh, well, he got him with the body down low. There's always an ability to excuse officiating because it's subjective. So, like, especially in basketball, like, at least in baseball now, they're making moves towards, like, you can get a robot umpire and do challenges that way. There's challenges on the base paths, all that stuff. Like, it's really hard to do that in basketball because a lot of these calls are 50-50, whether it be, the block charge. I mean, Rex Chapman created an entire career for himself based off a block charge comment on Twitter, and that got him a CNN gig that I think he screwed up, but still he probably made like $100 million. So, like, I've always said this. I went on a radio show 3 years ago, and they introduced me, with, like, whatever. And I said, my biggest issue with basketball is that we typically have all of the biggest calls are placed in the hands of men in their 50s and 60s. I said, typically when you get older, your eyesight gets slower, your ability to have, I don't know, cognitive function starts to diminish, and that's also, indicative of with the world, right? A lot of these, big time leaders around the world are all old, and it's just like, yeah, well, they have experience. It's like, yeah, well, they're also, like, deteriorating in front of our eyes. So, like, a lot of these officials should not be on the floor, and I do feel like that's where I would go with this. It's like, like, Angel Hernandez is a perfect example in baseball. Like, that guy got kicked out, basically forced out, because people are like, bro, like, you can't see anymore, dude. Like, that's why you're making bad calls. You weren't always a shitty official ref. You just are now.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head there with like the age thing. Like you
Yeah.
just ran up and down the court for an hour and a half, and now you're expected to make decent calls. The last thing for you, do you have any complaints about how much solo ball is being allowed to shoot? I don't. I love it. I love
No.
that he's got the green light. Figure that shit out and do it by shooting.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. It's and that's the same way I feel about Alex. Like, I don't care if Alex shoots from 35 feet or 22 feet. I don't give a shit. He has earned every bucket or every shot attempt that he has ever had at UConn. That dude has earned. Same with Solo. Those guys have stuck with this program through championships. Solo basically sat a whole year. So listen, man, if you're going strong, like the Marquette game last year where he had 8 threes in a row or whatever it was, that's what you get out of Solo. But then you have some clunkers. It's okay. His defense is getting better. So, like, he's not unplayable on defense. So even when he has a tough night offensively, like he kind of did from a volume shooting perspective, he still hit a big three. They were up 3. He banged a 3 to put them up 6 and kind of create that separation they needed. So, yeah, man.
Caravan did that against Villanova.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And my favorite thing is like, when you talk on Twitter, when you make comments at certain points in the game, it's such an incomplete thing. Like, there's no ability to go back and be like, I guess you could retweet yourself and say I was wrong on this. But I'll get comments the next day, like when Alex was 0 for 5 in that Villanova game. I was like, man, we need more from AK. And this was like 10 minutes to go in the second half. And then he ends up with like 17 and 8. I had people in my mentions like, you're a fucking idiot. Like, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, could you like see at the time stamp of when I put this out? I wasn't like expecting him to get a double-double in the last 10 minutes of the fucking game. But yeah, so like, sometimes we just overreact to stuff, and I'm definitely guilty of that. And it just is what it is.
Hey, appreciate it as always, man.
All right, brother. All the best. Tyrone. What's up, dog?
Mark, how come I can't hear you?
You can't hear me? Everyone can hear me.
See, this is why I don't get down with the StreamYard stuff. What link did you have before, man? It wasn't this. What is this?
Man, we hear you. We hear you because you're loud as hell. Tyrone's funny, man. Tyrone. Listen, why does Tyrone the only one have the problem with the link? Everyone else came on and we heard them just fine. So I'm gonna put Tyrone on blast. I'm gonna give Tyrone like 30 seconds. If he wants to come back in, cool, we talk. But I'm gonna pretty much call it a day. Appreciate everyone that's on the stream. We had a bunch of people on. We have a lot of people watching. I'm just excited for yeah, man, I agree with that. No, I don't think Caravan and Solo both had poor games. I think they had gritty games. I don't think you can call what maybe like if you just look at the box score, but I watched the game. So I mean, it's your opinion. Sure, if you think so. Yeah. I think this is it. But guess what? This could win them a national championship. I'm going to give you God, people are going to think I'm like a closet Duke fan. And I'm not. Gross. This team could be very similar, depending on the draw, to the 2015. Was it 2000? I think it's 2010. Let me double check. John Shire was on the team. 2010 Duke basketball national title. Yeah, that's it. So this is the team that almost lost to Butler at the buzzer from half court because, and I'm going to give you a very uncommon take on this. This team reminds me of that team, which if you look at that roster and it's a bunch of really good players, but there's no like, I mean, John Shire was an NBA player, but he was all right. Like, he is what it is. Let's talk to Tyrone. What's up, man? We can hear you.
Thanks for hanging in there with me, man. It's like a terrible comedy show. You stayed to the end. I appreciate you, brother.
I mean, listen, you're my guy. But I was going to say, like, why are you the only one that had the problem with the stream? Everyone else had no problem. They come on, they talk, blah, blah, blah. You're over here. You can't hear me?
I think everybody except the Bell Bondsman is because I'm over 40. That would be my excuse. But my boy, I think he's around the same age as us. Here are my terrible takes. I did fall asleep again sometime in the second half, not because UConn is a boring team. It's because
You
I'm a
old.
terrible. Yeah, that's what it is. That's exact. I was just gonna say that. I'm a terrible old man. I woke up with like 2.5 minutes left and still found a way to doze back off. But I did see Tyrus Reed break away still. I thought that was amazing. I'm kind of glad I fell asleep though, because Jaden Ross not scoring, that would have pissed me off for real. I don't know what he just running up and down trying to work on his hamstring. I guess that's cool. Stewie didn't have a good game. Like you always say, he still got to get more aggressive. The thing that scares me about this team is that we haven't lost a Big East game yet. I don't like my championship UConn teams to go undefeated in Big East. I feel like losing to
None
terrible
of them do.
teams. I think it builds character, man. It's like we lose a couple games and we be like, you know what? We ain't losing no more. Them the type of UConn championship teams I like. I do like that. I think this team is creating their own identity. I really think Dan Hurley pissed them off in the summer. He kept comparing them to the other championship teams. You guys are not like 24. And I think one day in practice, one of the players stepped to him, bro, because he came to a post-game conference and he was like, you know what? If you're tired of the comparisons, then do something these other teams haven't done. And I think that these kids are trying their damnedest to do something that the championship teams ain't done. And so far, so good. I mean, they got the longest win streak. They ain't dropped the
Yeah.
Big East game yet. But I mean, from a UConn OG standpoint, it's still scary that we haven't lost a game that we should have won. I think those teams build character, and I'm afraid that, we don't have it for some reason. It's weird. Like, we're kicking tail, but we're still nitpicking, which is what we should be doing anyway.
I don't think it's nitpicking, man. I think I just think it's like, well, listen, man. If you're falling asleep in a game, you have eyes. Like they are boring to you, like to you. And so I think you're onto something. I think that this team probably wants to, like great coaches put themselves as villains. So like each teams come together as like the common enemy is Dan Hurley. Like not because they hate him or not because they don't appreciate what he's doing for them, but it's kind of like, it's I think I saw the trailer for the new Netflix documentary on the Miracle on Ice. Like Herb Brooks in the Miracle on Ice was like, I need to make them hate me. And so they come together as a team. And maybe that's part of it.
Yeah.
So maybe, I think you're onto something there. That's where I go with that. I think that this team is really good. They're just not great. But I also will tell you this. There's a lot of that in college basketball. I don't want to hear about how great Michigan is. I don't want to hear about Nebraska played them pretty tough today. They lost their first game. There's a lot of good. And there's a lot of good there. Look at that top 10. There's like the least amount of losses in the top 10 in I think the last 25 years. So there's a lot of really good teams. There's no like behemoth. At first everyone was like, "Oh man, Gonzaga, they have so much talent." Then Michigan blew their fucking doors off. So like, Michigan peaked early, and now they've kind of come back to like, a good team. They're not like overly amazing, and you're just seeing that. Like you're just seeing a lot of teams that are feeling all right about winning games any way possible. And this UConn team is fine. Like. It's just not like I guess my biggest thing is I'm just getting tired of UConn fans going, man, you just wait till we put it all together. What are you talking about? We're watching games. Like this team with the all intents and purposes has been healthy as a full team for 75% of these games. A few times they didn't have Terrace, they didn't have Braylon, they didn't have I think Sola missed a game. So like the things that Dan has said is that this team has depth. That's true, but it's different depth than that 22 team. So like, you're right. Totally different identity. Yeah, man. Like, I don't know. Like, I think they're going to be okay, but we'll see. I'm just curious to see where they go in the tournament. I think they'll lose one. I think they're going to lose 1 or 2 games in the Big East. That's my prediction.
I used to always feel like as a UConn fan, whenever we did win the whole thing, it was because we went through the Big East. Like playing in the Big East automatically makes us tougher than everybody else in the world. Like you're not a Big East team, we're gonna beat y'all.
And to Husky Pound's point, like you don't get the fouls that are called when you're playing against a Big 12 team in the tournament. Like they do let a lot of that stuff go. And, like all the grabbing that teams do against us, they call that in the NCAA tournament. And also UConn's offense is so difficult to prepare for in a short turnaround and that's part of the reason why Dan instituted that offense, because he was like, in a tournament style, like it's impossible to cover all of our sets. But if you're Creighton and you're the next game that UConn plays and they're getting their ass handed to them by Marquette, but guess what? Creighton's going to be ready for UConn because they know everything that they run.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Listen. I have to pause here, Tyrone, before we get out of here, and I want to hear about your comedy, and then we're gonna go. Stop telling me that this team's needs to play zone. If you think Dan Hurley's gonna play zone, you don't know him. Like, I'm sorry, they never play zone ever. They're never going to, and I just don't know what else to say to that. Tyrone, tell people where they can find you if they're in the area or if you're traveling. Would love to hear about what's going on.
Yeah, for sure, man. YouTube, IG, TikTok, Facebook, all that good stuff is Bursting with Comedy, BURSTON, Bursting with Comedy. Let's see, we got Columbia, South Carolina in a couple of days. You can check all my flyers and stuff. I also have a website, burstingwithcomedy.com, for all my upcoming shows. I'll be in Johnson City, Tennessee, February 6th at the Wallace Theater. Yeah. So I'm doing a lot of South Carolina stuff, man. West Virginia in February, so I got gigs out there. But all in all, if you want a good laugh, or if you're an aspiring new comedian, or you want to knock it off your bucket list, I also have great material online to help you navigate those waters as well. Thank you, Mark.
You got it, brother. Hey, if you ever want to come on the show and like on a recorded side and go more in depth about what's going on, feel free. Just hit me up.
Okay, cool. I got you, big bro.
All right, Tyrone. Talk to you, brother.
Peace.
That's Tyrone Burston. Seriously, check him out. Bursting with Comedy, guy's incredible. You just hear it like he's infectious. So like, if you ever, he's a guy from the Hartford area living in Charlotte. I just really appreciate what he does and love his comedy and his passion for UConn. But I need to get you some like coffee to stay up for these games, bro. Like, we need you to not be falling asleep and and essentially, this team's not boring, but that's like saying it's like saying, man, I love that movie, but I missed the whole second act because I fell asleep. Not because it sucked, but because I'm just old. But if that's the case, we gotta tighten it up, man. Dial in. All right, I'm gonna answer a few more questions and get out of here. Listen, the zone comment. Listen, what value do you think zone would bring to a team that has never practiced zone and is all of a sudden going to implement it in the middle of the season? And I'm not saying that teams who play zone are wrong. I'm telling you that it reminds me of a conversation I had on Twitter like a week ago of watching Cincinnati versus Arizona. And one comment was, I can't believe Cincinnati didn't play zone. Well, Wes Miller doesn't play zone. And Wes Miller isn't a quarter of a coach as Dan Hurley is, and doesn't have even 1/10 of the bona fides that Dan Hurley does. Dan Hurley is a man-to-man coach. He has made adjustments to being more of an offensive-minded coach, and that's why that offense is so damn good when it's clicking. But defense, I'm sorry. There's just a few non-negotiables when you have principles. And it's not about living in absolutes. I see that comment too. It's about you play to your strengths. And the second thing is they don't play two bigs together because they want to have freedom of movement away from just having two big bodies in the game. That's just not what they play. And maybe they would do it against a team like Arizona if they play them in the Final Four because of how big they are. But if you had Terrace in that Arizona game, we were probably undefeated right now. So anyway, I just want to. I'm just giving you listen. This idea about switching back and forth, certainly a certain Hurley knows how to teach zone. Yeah, it's easier. He doesn't want easy. He wants these fucking guys to get it done. Like, just read that back and then go read this book and tell me if you think that the book's title is called Never Stop. And you think that the dude's like, you know what would be a really good idea is if we did something easier so we can make it easier on the players. It's never going to happen, dude. If it does, set biggiesenergy@gmail.com. I'll send you $1,000. Okay. House Boulder, we just aren't blowing teams out, but we finish game every time. Nobody, Chris Severino, nobody is talking about we don't blow teams out, and that's the problem. It's such a simplistic take. Did you just jump into this chat? Like, did you just jump into the show? We've been on for 45 minutes. We're just a good team, and we beat teams. It's not our fault that Vegas is giving us a 15.5-point spread, of which I won on Providence. Like, I just know who this team is. I'm sorry. Yeah, I saw some things tonight I really liked. Give Providence credit. What's up, Jay Ross? Couldn't stop them in the paint. That was my biggest concern. That's fouling. That's not zone. You can foul just as much in zone. This team fouls way too much. And the Big East also has shit officials. Shout out Husky Pound. All right, guys, I'm out. I went 15 minutes past what I wanted to do. And it's because you guys are awesome. And I appreciate you. Don't take anything I say on here as if I'm mad at you. I'm just giving you my opinion. All my opinions are my own. They don't reflect UConn. All of our shows are sponsored by Home Field Apparel. Go to homefieldapparel.com and make sure you check out the UConn section, Big East section, whoever. If you have friends who love Tennessee, get them Tennessee gear. If you download the app, you get 15% off your first purchase. All right. That's not true, Jay Ross. Why you got to bring me back in? That's 1,000% not true. I love that we're 20-1. I just don't want to hear about fans saying, giving me the Dan Hurley stuff like, oh, don't worry, we're coming. No, we're not. This is who we are. We're 20-1. We're number 2 in the country. We're a good damn team. Can we get a little bit better? Probably. Are we going to? Probably not. So buckle up. $2 Pepto-Bismols next time we play, and make sure you hit a bunch of them. I'm out. See you next time on the Hoop Scout.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Yeah.